Okay, so today I want to finish this topic also, gene interaction or factor hypothesis. Usually we used to do, I used to just one topic, no? And artificial seeds itself is quite what to say, concept requiring a chapter. But since we are running out of time, God knows when suddenly they might tell us, give your exams, and I will not feel satisfied if I'm not able to complete my syllabus. I'm not able to give you the concept, for you to move on for your entrances or for your other exams or for your higher studies. So that's why I'm doing 2 videos in one day. It's exhausting for me, exhausting for you also to listen, because myself, I cannot just listen, no. I get bored and distracted very easily. So you can listen, take a break, go from some fresh air. After 10 minutes, you come back, you sit and listen again. That's how we have to keep ourselves active. So when we say gene interaction, you remember I talked to you about alleles? No? Alleles, they are a pair of genes that are in the same homologous chromosome. So this one is in the homologous with this other gene, okay? And they are located in the same locus. No, same locus they are there. But when we talk about gene interaction, let's say this is one pair of chromosomes, A and A, and then this is another pair of chromosome, Z and small z. Okay, so these are alleles. A and small a are alleles. Z and small z are alleles, but A and Z, they are not alleles. Let me draw it again. Let's say, okay, we have A and A. Fine. Then we have B and B. Okay. B is on this locus and this B is on the same locus, and these are homologous chromosomes. Similarly, A, they are both on homologous chromosomes and they're both located at the same locus, and this one, A and A, they give us some phenotype, some trait. Okay, let's say tall, height. Let's say height. And then this B, let's say it's giving some trait, let's say color. So we know that alleles, they are an alternative form of the same gene, and they have to be present on the homologous chromosome and at the same locus. But when we talk about gene interaction, let's say this is one chromosome pair, this is another chromosome pair, this is another chromosome pair. Here are the alleles A and A, and here are the alleles B and B. Okay, whether it's dominant or recessive doesn't matter, but A and A is on homologous chromosome, B and B is on homologous chromosome. But we need these two different alleles, that is A alleles and B alleles, we need them to interact with each other. We need them to interact with each other, then only they will produce some external phenotype, like some trait. Let's say they will finally produce height. Okay, whether how tall or how short, we don't care. It depends on the dominance and recessive. Or color. Or color, or shape, etc. So you understand, I think, when these alleles, okay, two different alleles, one on one homologous chromosome, one on another homologous chromosome. So can I say that A alleles and Z alleles are non-allelic? Why not? Why can't I say? Yes, I can say, because A and A is an allele, yes. Z and Z is an allele, yes. But A and Z are non-alleles, so we can use that term. So there, see the what I have written for you. So when two or more non-allelic genes, they show the development of a single phenotype in such a way that they affect the expression of each other in various ways, is known as gene interaction or factor hypothesis. Okay, so how these two or more non-allelic, I told you about two, it could be three. Okay, this is A, this is B, this is C. Then these are alleles, these are alleles, and C and B are non-allelic. Similarly, B and AC are non-allelic. So all these three, they will interact to give us some trait. Let's say skin color. Okay, let's say skin color. Okay, so it could be more than two, more than three, five. It could be many interactions of many non-allelic genes. Okay, so that is how exactly it happens in nature. You know, Mendel was just very, very lucky that he got T for tall. Small t for dwarf. He was very, very lucky, you know. But in nature, so many non-allelic genes, they give us the phenotype. Okay. And here is when they do not follow the Mendelian principles, okay, as we saw some exceptions which deviate from the Mendelian ratio of 9:3:3:1, okay. So the ratios could be 12:3:1, it could be 15:1. So usually the hard and fast rule is the dihybrid ratio is the 9:3:3:1. No, what we expected from Mendel, but there are some organisms that don't show this ratio, okay. So we can explain why they showed a different ratio. We can explain why they showed the deviation from the normal Mendelian ratio, because they were two or more pair of genes located on different chromosomes. Okay, it may be one pair of genes. AA might be located on chromosome 1, BB might be located on chromosome 22, you know, CC alleles may be located on chromosome 15. Okay, so they are located on different chromosomes, and how they interact, okay, how they interact with each other is what will determine what the trait will be, what the phenotype will be. So one may suppress or one may express it even more depending on the dominance and recessiveness, and depending on how they interact with each other. Okay, so let's see a main example of gene interaction. So Bateson and Punnett, from the word Punnett square, no, they were the ones who actually created the square. So Bateson and Punnett, they kept working on Mendel's work, and then they became pioneers. Okay, so let's us look at the example about chickens. Okay, fowls, like fowl mean the wild chicken, nah? Not the not that farm chicken, no, the one that you find in the wild, the fowls. Okay, so different breeds of domestic chicken, okay, they possess different types of combs. Domestic because we have domesticated them, you know, right from when man was a hunter and gatherer, we have domesticated them. Okay, so, but they are still wild chicken only. So they show different comb. The comb is that crown, no, on the rooster's head. Okay, the comb is the crown on the rooster's head. Now this breed called Wyandotte, they have a comb and let's call it as rose. The Brahmas, they have a comb and let's call it as a P. And the Leghorns, they have a comb, let's call them as a single. Okay. Now, if we breed a rose and a single, the rose in the F1 we will find a rose, okay, because rose is dominant over the single. If we cross P and single, again we'll get P because P is dominant over single. So you can assume that the recessive one is a single one. So you can conclude that the single is the most recessive, rose is dominant, P is dominant, single is the recessive one, okay. But when we cross a rose and a P, we get hybrid with a brand new sort of a walnut comb, okay, a brand new comb. So what can you assume? Let's assume that rose and P are equally dominant. Rose is equal to P, but rose and P are dominant to single. Okay, is this much clear? I really miss that when you girls respond to me. No, it's so boring to just sit and talk in this phone alone. Ugh. Whatever. Let's continue. Okay. Although when we in the F2 generation we get a 9:3, so 3:1 ratio, but what is strange here is that fine, we got the ratio of 9:3:1, 9:3:1, but we had something completely different. Remember the walnut? Neither it looked like father, neither looked like mother. So you can just imagine the father must be so suspicious now. Oof, this mother, I'm so angry with her, with the angry eyes like this. Drawing his face with angry eyes. The father must be like so mad, no? Imagine this chicken is like, this chicken is like, this child doesn't look like mother or father. But we know that this is as a result of gene interaction. Not because the female, cheated, nothing like that, but it's because both the rose and the P were equally dominant and they produced a different comb, the walnut, okay? So let's look at what alleles control this. So the comb character was controlled by two non-allelic genes. Let's call them as R and P. R for rose, P for P. Okay. So the rose comb, this results from the combination of homozygous or heterozygous dominant genes. Okay. If it's in RR or R capital R, we will get a rose comb. And obviously, the other one has to be recessive. Okay. If it's RR and small p, we still get a rose. If it's RR and small p, we will still get a rose because all these three are recessive, but at least one dominant R we have. Here we are having at least one dominant R. Okay, either this could be dominant or this one could be dominant. Okay. Similarly with the P comb, same. You just inverse. Instead of R, you put P. If it's P, P and R, R. Okay. This is for single. Okay. R represents single. Or SS. I don't know. Did I write S or write R? I think R. Whatever. Oh, R, capital R. R means red. Okay. If we get recessive R genes, the rows, then here, because we have at least one dominant P, we will get a P comb. Okay. I think you have understood. You've understood. Why am I saying the same thing again and again? Rose and P are the same. Okay. Now the walnut is when we have at least one dominant R, capital R, and one dominant P. Okay. So here I have already written for you, if the alleles come like this, capital R's and P's, we will get walnut. If like this also, yes. If like this also, yes. All right. So if I've already written to you all the different combinations for the rose, it could be this way, for the pea it could be that way, and the walnut has 3 different combinations. So I think it's easy. Now I have drawn, and then obviously the single comb, all of them have to be recessive. Red has to be recessive, pea has to be recessive. So I've already wrote down for you in my note there. Only one type of combination is there. So this is the image for the, my drawing now, it will not really express how these chickens look like. You can just Google, you will see for yourself how they really look like. This is just my drawing. I don't know, is good or bad, I don't know, but somehow you can understand. Okay, so the Wyandotte, which is the rose, looks like that, the pea looks like that, the walnut, the hybrids like that, and the single, the most recessive one. No, just imagine, it sounds so weak, no, when we write about the recessive gene, small r, small p, small p, but see, in real life में कैसा दिखता है. It's the most like fabulous crown. This is the most king like, I find. This guy is the most kingly of all, I feel. The most recessive one, but in appearance it's the most giant size, you know. And all these so proud with capital R, small r, all these. This one, let us see, so weak looking. Okay, so I'll stop this video, and then I'll make another one for the different kinds of interactions, because it'll be too long and you'll get bored listening.